Hello and welcome back to the My English Matters podcast, the show where we share stories and tips for you to speak English with confidence. So I'm Madam Azimah, and in today's episode, you're going to meet Izyan Hazwani Ahmad. So she is a dedicated professional. She's working to protect children's rights in Malaysia. The reason I invited Puan Izyan is because she's not only doing meaningful work in her field, but she's also one of our most active MEM Academy students. She's always showing up, she's always participating and pushing herself to take on every challenge. So I believe that her story will inspire anyone who's working to improve their English while balancing a busy and professional life. So I have prepared a series of questions that's going to help us get into the details of her journey, from her role at Suhakam to how she's learned to express complex ideas in English and so much more. So let's get started, shall we? Puan Izyan, welcome to our podcast. So happy to have you here. I can't wait for our listeners to hear your story.
Yes, thank you for having me, madam.
Now, I want to start with your work. If you can tell us a little bit more about the work that you do as a Suhakam officer.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day, everyone. Thank you for having me, madam, and of course, I am very honored as member of English Matters. I got invited into this podcast. So basically, going straight to the question, my role in Suhakam, I am currently a head office of the Office of the Children's Commissioner in Suhakam. Um, exactly like what Madam said, the main focus of our office is to protect and empower children's rights in Malaysia. We're doing via various platforms. So we go by doing advocacy and law, we conduct education and promotion program, and then we accept complaint involving infringement of children's right, and we investigate and we address it to the complainant. We conduct monitoring visit to institution that place children. So like if that institution, for instance, school, prison, immigration depot, they have children inside the compound of that institution. So we go and visit just to ensure whether the parameter of children's right is met in that institution. So that's basically very basic, the role of me in Suhakam.
Wow, very interesting. It's such important work. And I'm curious, what inspired you to get into this line of work?
I can say that since young, I have had huge interest in politics and current issues, social justice. So I always ask myself, like, why we have quite a disparity and huge disparity of society in our country. Why do we have poor people, marginalized group, and very extreme rich people? So I always question, like, what is exactly the history behind the social construct in Malaysia? And then I enroll myself into a law degree in International Islamic University of Malaysia. After that, I pursue my master degree at the very same university, and I took international law, and I specialize in human rights. So while taking my master degree, I actually already working as a banking lawyer. The course that I took, international law and human rights, is actually quite like 360-degree different with banking law. But because I have huge interest in human rights, so once I graduated my master degree, and then there was an opening at Suhakam for this portfolio, for this position. So I applied and I got it.
Very interesting. Okay. Describe to me what your day-to-day work life is like. What does it look like for you? What does your routine look like?
So other than if if I already have scheduled visit to institutions, just like I mentioned earlier, or I have scheduled meeting, training to agencies. Usually, typically, my day at work, I start my work at 7:30 a.m. and I finish at 4:30. This is the flexible time I choose. But if I have like meetings, additional work, then I went back home at 6:30. Um, but usually, the daily work that I do, of course, I will review my subordinates' work, attending meetings, discussion, writing reports, having conversations, plan program, executing the planned program. So a lot of things is about discussion, meeting, report writing. Basically surrounds that activity and work. Yeah,
Yeah, sounds like communication is very important,
very
which
very
is
important.
why you are, yeah, you're our student. You're taking our course, our program called MEM Academy. You're part of our MEM Academy program. So now I want to talk about your English language journey. Um, do you speak English at home? What is it like right now, the journey so far?
If I can be honest, actually, I don't really speak English at home.
Mm,
But I fully utilize my work environment to speak English and pushing myself to speak English in my work environment but during schooling time, during English classes. I think I got lucky because my secondary school, Sekolah Menengah Kebahasaan Puteri Seremban, it's a girls' school, but English is widely used in my secondary school. Um, and then at International University of Malaysia, you were from the very same university like me. English
yes.
is the main language as well.
Mhm.
So, uh, so English environment is quite it's part of my life. And when I work as a lawyer, banking lawyer, English as well is widely used in my working environment. Um, and then now at Suhakam as well, English is widely used. So um, obviously, whether we like it or not, um, English is the main language that I have to push myself to actually be better and do better in English conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you face any challenges? Because you mentioned that you were already exposed back in your degree days. So were there any specific challenges that you faced when you joined the workplace?
I guess I think many Malaysian we learn English since very young age. I think even some in their during their preschool, during their primary school. Same goes to me. I started to learn English during my primary school. So if we were to count the span of time we learn English, actually it's been more than 20 years.
Mm,
I'm now like 30 something. So it's been it's been more than 30 years. But the struggle of many Malaysian is because it's not the language that we speak every day. We speak, maybe like me, my mother tongue is Malay, so we speak Malay at home during our normal and casual conversation. So we understand when people speak English, when people talk to us in English, but the struggle is to reply and to respond to the conversation. And if you're talking about challenges, back then when I was a lawyer, I understand every cases that I read, the and how I supposed to present. But when I about to talk about the cases, the explanation of the case, and how to debate in front of before court,
mm,
to talk to my client, it's very hard to actually translate what in your mind into the
mm.
conversation. Say for instance you have 100 things that you want to tell to your client or to the judges, to your lawyer colleague, to your friends, to your boss, but it turned out to be like few lines.
Mm,
Exactly like if you have A until Z story, you just tell like very end of the story, so people
yeah.
don't understand the behind your
Mm.
conclusion. So this is the struggle, like to narrate what in your mind.
No, absolutely. So I think our students and learners would be able to relate to that struggle of translating things from your head and then feeling like you were not able to express what you planned to say. Were there any moments that you felt like giving up?
Ah, I don't think I have any moment that I feel like giving up, because I'm not a person who easily giving up on things. But there was so many there were so many occasions that I feel so embarrassed that I not managed to actually deliver my message, because I know I have very good point. I know I have very good idea, but how can I do that? How can I deliver my idea? Because the struggle and the barriers that I have in my English conversation and speaking. Um, so, for instance, I can give you, for example, I have when I graduated back then in 2012, I joined. If you know, like for before you become a lawyer, you have to actually go through chambering period or chambering students period or pupillage. Usually 9 months pupillage. You have to go through this. I did this pupillage, and one of the requirement when you are doing your pupillage is to go for legal aid, that you offer your aid to some institution or organization that cater issues like migrant, refugee. So I volunteer for this one particular organization for refugee, and usually the pupillage that enroll into this legal aid organization are those like very brilliant students or very brilliant pupillage. So I enroll, and during the introduction session, I was grouped into one group, and there was a mixture of female and male pupils
From other universities?
from other universities. I think around 10 pupils. So we were seated, and one by one started to introduce themselves, obviously in English. I managed to introduce my name and my university. But when it comes to the reason why I picked up this organization, I I was like stuttered, and my words is not clear. My so the flow of my explanation was not there, and 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 I realized and I noticed this very one guy, like a male pupil, like look at me, and I can see that he was smirking, like so I can, so the feeling was like, oh, I'm so embarrassed that I can't deliver my message, my reason. Well, I know I have very huge reason why I want to join this organization. At that very moment, I felt like looked down upon by that that person, and I feel like I did not belong to the group. So that was my challenge, but I pursued and still joined the organization. I managed to complete the 3 months legal aid, but that was like the very moment I told myself that, oh, I need to like improve my English, and I don't really bother like what people say at the very moment, because everyone is on their own journey in improving English. So that was like my very moment that I think I need to push myself to another level.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, we always have that one person that we can't forget their face or their comment, right? But I guess I don't want you to say, "Oh, thank you" to him, whatever. But you can remember the pain.
Yeah,
That's the thing, and
yeah,
then the lesson, like you feel like, okay, I know I can do better, and that's pushed
mm,
you, right?
yeah.
So let's talk about confidence and motivation. You seem like a very confident person now, Izyan. Maybe 10 years on after that event. Maybe you can tell us um, what is it like right now if you want to compare yourself to whatever 10 years ago. Would you say you're more confident now?
Um, if you're talking about English
Yeah.
conversation and speaking, whether I am more confident now than before, I believe I am now more confident than before. Just like I mentioned earlier back then, when I'm about to speak about myself, like why am I interested in my role at Sohakam, or like why I pursued law. It's very challenging to even narrate what in my mind, the message that I want to tell. It's always everywhere in your mind, and when you tell people about it, it's always very small portion of your idea. But I think now I'm very confident. If I have say, although I can't be like 100%, 100% manage to speak like how I present it in Bahasa.
Mm.
Say if I have 100 things to tell, now I think in English I can go with 70 or 80 things, meaning I can actually convey what I want to convey now. And I found that I can speak and deliver in English. Just that although there are still struggle here and there, especially choosing your correct vocabulary, uh, but I think I'm better now when it comes to confidence.
Yeah, just wondering whether you still face people who might give you a negative vibe. You know, it's not the same as when we were younger. We had people who are giving you this face, whatever. But now, as an adult,
Um,
um,
Previously, madam, previously when I speak English to some people, that person can speak say both languages, English and Bahasa. And when they hear me speaking English, maybe because they find that my English is I don't know to their perception, they reply me in Bahasa.
mm,
So at that very moment, you start to question like, do I sound too bad that you have to speak back to me in Bahasa? So
mm,
that to me that's very insulting. So so I was like, oh my god, do I sound too bad?
mm,
So now when I speak English and people respond back to me in English, so I can sense the difference.
mm.
Um,
And what's the difference? Do you think? Have you received any feedback,
for
or
instance,
what have you realized? Yeah.
if you speak to the native speaker, they don't have choice. Like they have to speak in English because it's their own language. That's very the only language that they know. So even if you speak very broken English, they will still reply to you in English, right? So you don't feel like embarrassed. But for Malaysian, because they can speak many languages, and many Malaysian actually can speak both languages, English and Bahasa. Um, so when I speak to few Malaysian and I know they can speak English very well, and I speak in English and they responded to me in English, um, so I feel like, oh, we're now having conversation, and I can sense that that person understand me, and that person feel that I can speak English to like him or her. So I feel better. At least I feel better.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, the huge difference that I think. Mm.
What do you think has made the difference then? Is it in the way you communicate? What exactly do you think you have improved?
Um, I think especially during meetings, during discussions. Previously, I will be just that quiet person in that very corner of the meeting just to listen to everybody. Unless, and I will be the one like, I'm not gonna speak or talk or utter any word because I worry that people will judge my English.
Mm.
um, unless people point to me like, can you just answer, then only I answer and respond, and that will be very short answer. But this day in meetings, in discussion, I will be the one like I have to speak because I need to tell everyone that I need to speak, I need to deliver my idea, I need people to know that I have points, I have my position as well. So I don't think that I'm now being the person that's sitting at the very end of the corner of or any meeting. I will be among those. I feel that I blend in the discussion and the meeting, and I don't mind if people challenge my position and my view because I think I can challenge back. I'll do whatever I can just to tell people, oh, this is my view. Um, and I hope that they can appreciate my view as well. So I feel included in the discussion now. So this is the difference.
Okay, that is inspirational. It's really wonderful. Do you think that you realized this within a year? Was that is that or is it like a gradual transformation? This process, the thing that you've realized about your confidence.
It's a gradual transformation. Even when I joined Suhakam, my organization, I still have the feeling that um, whether do people think that I can speak English, and I received few comments as well that she got problems with her English. So
Mm.
I did few things to improve my English, and one of it
Yes.
was reading newspaper. I subscribed newspaper, News Straits Time, and
Mm.
then I push myself to read News Straits Time every day.
Mm.
So that will be one of the way how I go with it, because I
That's great.
can't be the one just sitting down and not doing anything after people are complaining on my English. So I
Mm.
did that, and
Good.
then right after that I can sense some improvement.
Mm.
Um, because reading obviously change the way how you use your vocabulary. And next is I have a colleague can that can only speak English. So I
Mm.
I actually take that advantage to just speak English with her, taking courage just to speak English with her. And,
Mm.
and after that, I realized that, oh, I cannot be just the one speaking English casually. I need to be more advanced, and I need to know how to go with it, how to find tips to go and speak more eloquently,
Mm.
professionally, and then figure out English matters. Um,
Mm.
and that's why I enrolled in English matters. So
Mm.
I've been in English matters academy for close to 2 years. I think this is my second year. The thing that I learned from English matters was like the way how you pronounce word, very like and then when you know how to pronounce it correctly, I can give you for example like colleague, because back then I think I hear everyone pronounce it as colleague, and you follow what people say because you think that people know better, so you just follow colleague. And then
Mm.
and then when I learned from English matters that the way how you should pronounce it is colleague, and in meetings and discussion in very official meeting, and I'm very confidently use colleague, and people will
Mm.
look at me like, oh, she's very confident using that word. So I feel like, oh, I know better than some people.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yes, that's fantastic. Mm.
So
Okay.
that really encouraged me that you need to have your mentor as well
Mm.
when you wanted to move forward and pursue to a higher level. So I guess it's a gradual transformation.
Yeah.
And when you know how to pronounce it better than others,
Mm.
I think it's just push your confidence to another spectrum.
Mm. Interesting. And that's just about pronunciation.
That's just about pronunciation. It makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Imagine
What?
if you can do more.
Yes. What about structuring your thoughts? Do you think that you're now more structured than from when you were before?
Yes. Again, like if I just stuck and with the if I just stuck with the routine of reading newspapers English, that will be very good. But if I did not learn the techniques, I will just be the one trying to deliver my message and my understanding using newspaper readings, that will not going anywhere. So in English matters, I learned how to frame my conversation, my presentation. For instance, I learned prep technique,
Yeah.
the one that when you know the strategy on on how you deliver your presentation, your speech, that will really confine you to a good content, so that you won't like talking unnecessarily.
Mm.
People hate
Yeah.
it so
Rambling. We call it rambling, like
much.
go on and on.
Yeah, and hate it so much, and I hate it so much as well in meeting that I don't know where is your point, where are you going. So when I emulate this practice, this discipline, I can sense that I make sense in meeting. I sounds convincing.
Yeah.
So this, and I recorded because you taught me that, oh, we supposed to record the way how we speak in meetings, in presentations. So I recorded it, and when I hear back, I make sense. It sounds makes sense.
Amazing, amazing. And do you think other people have noticed that you have improved? People close to you, your friends, your husband, anyone has noticed and given feedback to you?
Oh, the very first one that noticed will be obviously my husband, because back then he knows that I always push myself to my very best limit. And back then when I try to speak English, giving presentation in English, he said that I sounds forceful, like I try to sound British. I did not know about it, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And then he was like, "You try so hard to sound British, and it's unpleasant to hear." So I was quite worried about it, and when I joined English Matters, I learned that you don't have to force yourself. You just make sure that you enjoy the conversation. And now when I speak, like when I'm in class, in meetings, in conversation with people that speak English, he said that, oh, I sound more natural, and it's pleasant to hear. It's like a conversation, and I don't sound like I force myself to speak English. So I think it's very heartwarming to hear. And of course, the feedback from my classmate in English Matters, they said as well, I'm a fluent English speaker, but I actually am not. I was like trying to tell them I'm not. I'm not. Like, why you guys say that I'm fluent? But I guess people see the confidence, and they don't really focus on my grammar.
Mm.
So people focus on the way how I speak, and
Yeah.
at my workplace as well. But people say, oh, like very very enjoy to attend meetings with foreign foreign. I mean the foreigner, because we have quite a lot of huge number and a lot of number of international guests coming to our office, and I will be the one volunteering to attend and become the spokesperson for my office at least.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. So I want to talk about your experience as a My English Matters student because I think that you are one of our most active students, always up to the challenge, whatever that I give you, including debating. I remember that.
Yeah.
Reading out loud. Do you think that putting yourself out there, right, makes you more confident? If you could talk about the mindset that you have right now as a student, and perhaps you can inspire our listeners out there to just take action.
Mm. Okay. If I were to talk from the perspective of English Matters students, the reason why I trying my very level best to be active participant and active students in classes, first is I know that as a student, I know Malaysian students usually were very quiet, we are very introvert, but I learned that if you wanna learn better, if you wanna get and the gist of every topic, you should actually ask question, you should actually be curious about the topic, and at least show up matters a lot. And that shows you are in the conversation, you're responding to the question. So that's why, and I think one of it is just to show how I'm supposed to be respectful to my teachers. So because it's very odd if like your teacher asks question and you just keep quiet.
Waiting for other people.
Yeah, wait for respond.
Yeah.
But I think the dilemma of us as a student usually is like, oh, majority is not talking, is not giving response. So if I talk and I give response, do I sounds like trying to show off a bit? So this is the dilemma of, I don't know people, but some people
Yeah.
would think that I should be following the majority,
Mm,
should just
mm-mm.
get along like how the rest of the people doing. But I think I believe that it's not supposed to be the way. You
Yeah.
should just be yourself. If you're so interested with the class, just show that you are so interested, so that maybe some people will just see that, oh, I should be just like that person, show interest. And when you show interest in class, obviously the teachers will love you to teach in a very fun way as well. So because um, like two-way conversation is always best,
Mm,
for whatever topic to be discussed. So that will be my first point, why I wanted to be the very active speaker in class. Second, if you don't speak, then how will your teachers know your level? And that's
yeah.
very important. The third one, your question again, madam.
My question is, how do you get? I think you've answered the question. It's about the mindset, the attitude
Oh,
that
the
just
mindset.
bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mindset. when it comes to English speaking is you are capable of speaking English fluently. This is my mindset. Although people usually I see when people those who speak English fluently, they have so many history behind them. For instance, like maybe like Madam, you moved to UK when you were so young back then when during your childhood time. So your environment is English environment, English speaking environment, and I have few friends of mine at because they pursue their uh, tertiary education, their university education in overseas at the overseas, and then the English speaking environment as well is English. So they blend with the culture, with the language. So that is the history of them.
Mm.
And some because they come from a family that speak English.
Mm.
So this is the challenge for those who are not having such kind of history, such kind of background. Like just for myself, my parents speak Bahasa, the environment of but my family environment is always Bahasa. My schooling
Mm.
time, the friends that I have, although you learn English from a very young age, um, but I think it's it's regardless of that difference, I believe that we still can be fluent if we want so, because there are a lot of people out there who do not have such background. They can and still manage to speak fluently. So it's just really on an individual, your belief and what is your mindset.
Very good. And that's the kind of students that we want to attract. And you know, to me personally, it's an honor to have people like you, Izyan, who are you're professional, you're very busy, you have your own set of knowledge in your field, and
Mm,
then you're also learning English on the side and improving yourself on the side.
yeah,
That's amazing. You don't even use busyness as an excuse, like, oh, I'm too busy, no
mm,
time. I will learn on the job, because I think you're doing two things at the same time. You're learning on the job with the
true.
people around you, but you're also taking extra classes, the extra step
Yeah.
to improve. That's
Mm,
brilliant.
mm.
Okay, Isian. So I guess that's it. That's all I have. But maybe you'd like to leave with a personal motto, if you can inspire our students.
Okay. I would like to say that first of all, this is the thing that we, those who have Malay language as your mother tongue, never ever think that if we were to push ourselves to be fluent in English, you are undermining your very own mother tongue language.
Mm.
This is the belief that you have to like throw very far away, and don't ever try to tell everybody and to preach like look like Japan, look like Korea. It can be very successful and very like advanced country without having to learn English. They can just be very sustained, very good in their own mother tongue, which is Korean and Japanese. Their story and the way how they built their country is their own journey. But for
Yeah.
us Malaysian, we have to realize that we were occupied,
Mm.
we were colonized by British back then. The majority of our Malaysian, whether we like it or not, um, we have to have mastery of English to achieve in our occupation, in our
Mm.
life, and for us to master a lot of things, not just English, technologies, IT, and everything. So don't succumb to that very idea, because that idea won't get you anywhere.
Mm.
So the very first thing that you have to understand that if you can be fluent in English, that is your extra value, and that will help you a lot in your journey to be a successful person, especially if you're professional. I think outsiders think of Malaysian as a society that can master both languages, and I think outsiders believe that majority of Malaysian can speak English. This is the
Mm.
perceptions, and we should be proud of it. And I believe that if we can speak both languages, our
Mm.
mother tongue, Malay languages, as well as English fluently, we are ahead of others, and those are ahead of others is always those are very successful person, and you want to be that successful person. So this is my mantra. This is my last word. Never say never. Just go with what you trust and believe. Trust that you will be fluent one very fine day. Thank you very much, madam.
Inshallah. Thank you so much, Wan Izyan. It's been very inspiring, your journey from being not so confident, being unsure of yourself, and then to where you are right now. It's amazing. And I think our listeners have learned a lot, inshallah. And personally, it's been wonderful to see your growth as well, Izyan.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. So for our listeners, learn from Izyan's journey, take action, change your mindset, and push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you will see the transformation in time. So that's all from us. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
Thank you.